Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well. It's time we go back and check out some Winery Dogs. First and foremost, let me tell you this. Check out their new album. Okay. Buy the CD, download it on Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever the heck wherever you get your music from, check this thing out. It is a good album. It's a really solid, really good album. I've got to go through it a little bit more and break it down a little bit more before I talk too deeply on it. But first listen, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. With that said, we're going to go back to the first album, the original Winery Dogs album, and we're going to do the song I'm No Angel. The guitar lick in this is one of the sickest guitar licks. It's the foundation for the entire song. So, but it is one of the best guitar licks I've heard in the last, 10 years. Richie Kotzen is an absolute master, and if he isn't one of your guitar heroes, you should probably listen a little closer because bear in mind the man does not play with a pick, so everything is finger style, thumb and fingers, very much like Mark Knopfler or Jeff Beck and others. But it's funny how he got there. The story goes that he was on tour, I think somewhere maybe in South America on a solo tour. And one day while he was just hanging around the hotel room, he decided he was going to play a show that night without a guitar pick. And so he worked up all of his material that he'd been on tour with and been playing for however long. And he reworked it to play without a pick just as a challenge to himself. And if that story is true, and I have a tendency to believe it, that is one heck of a ballsy move if you think about it. You add to that the genius of Mike Portnoy on drums and Billy Sheehan on bass, and you've got a modern day power trio supergroup with, Sheehan's work with Tallis and David Lee Roth and Mr. Big, and of course Mike Portnoy's legendary time with Dream Theater. And you've got one hellacious trio of musicians playing together. The other thing about Kotzen, and I will say this, and people will possibly not like that I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. His vocals have a very Chris Cornell type of timbre to them. I am not saying he's a better vocalist or a comparable vocalist to Chris Cornell, because that would be, sacrilegious. But with that said, it's in the timbre. It sounds. There's a sound to it that just has this. Like I could hear Chris Cornell singing this just as well as Richie Kotzen, if not better. With that said, here's the killer lick and the amazing tune "I'm No Angel" from the Winery Dogs.
All I only follow the
they have a really nice, interesting mixture of tones. First things first, Richie predominantly plays with strats and tellies, a lot of tellies. And so you don't necessarily expect that thicker guitar tone with a telly. Now, his telly does have mini humbuckers on it, so obviously it's aiding to that. It's not just a straight single coil pickup, but it's also not that big burly guitar tone of, a full-size humbucker in a, Les Paul or something like that you hear so often out there, in rock or hard rock type of music. Combine that with his choice of amplifiers and minimal effects, really. And you get this kind of pure, slightly dirty, gainy, but still clean, clear guitar tone. When you mix that with Billy Sheehan's bass rig, which, he's using multiple amplifiers, and his bass has a really unique setup of pickups on it. I mean, it goes all the way back to his days in Talus when he had a Fender bass that he put a humbucking pickup in the neck position on, and it wasn't just a regular humbucking pickup; it was actually one from a Gibson bass. And then that just converted over to the signature Yamaha he's been using for years, the Attitude bass. But you put that through the fact that he's also got dual outputs on the bass that allows him to run part of his bass into a clean rig and part of his bass into a dirty, distorted sounding rig. And you get this very unique blended bass tone in the background that is just, again, it's just pure Billy Sheehan. Anyway, the guitar lick. Oh, like I said, it's the foundation for the entire song. I mean, he's playing it while he's singing, and it's not the easiest guitar lick in the world to play because it's a lot of bends and reverse bends into the chord. And again, to do that while you're singing, I envy anybody who can sing and play really well together. I've never been able to really fully do both together, and thankfully I don't even try to sing anymore. Excuse me. But it's, again, just love the song. Love the song. Again, go out and check out their third album. Like I said, they're kind of a super group, so they all have their own individual careers that they're doing, but occasionally they get together and they put an album together, and generally I find myself loving every track on them. So with that said, if you haven't heard the Winery Dogs before, I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Of course, we can talk about it further, and I want you to know I appreciate y'all and I wish y'all well. Take care.